Roy, congratulations for Take the Night.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What was your name again?
It's Gig,
Gig. Okay.
Gig, yeah. So hey, congratulations for Take the Night. This is certainly a different type of film in your career, right?
In my career, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. This is the first time I've worked with a first-time director, also, and that was an experience because you never know what you're going to get, especially with someone so inexperienced. But one thing about Seth was he was very open to feedback and any kind of insight we could give him. As a matter of fact, he was asking for it every day. He's like, hey, how am I doing? What do you think about this? Or can I run this by you or that by you? It made the process feel very collaborative. Made me feel really involved, which I like. Yeah, so it was a great experience.
So what actually initially attracted you to a project like this then?
What initially attracted me was that they offered me the part, but aside from that, no, I thought it was a very unique story, especially having it being centered around two Asian American brothers. You know what I mean? It's something that we don't see a lot nowadays, and on top of that, I get to drive a green Lamborghini in the movie, so that was also a very big bonus for me. And yeah, it's the kind of movie that everyone wants to be a part of at least once in their career.
I was going to mention that, as an Asian person myself, we always see these stereotypical films that Asians usually get into, but this is a much different because where there's not like kung fu action in reality or making fun of Asians. I mean, this film is a lot different, and I think as you mentioned, it's a great story for the two Asian American brothers.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the typical been there, done that kung fu movie. It certainly isn't that. Seth, the director, was very careful about how he represented our culture in the film and making sure things were accurate, especially with them being Chinese and the whole family. Having this very representing this Chinese family culturally very accurately. But at the same time, yeah, it's really about, at the heart of it, two brothers, and my hope is that people will relate to that aspect of it, especially because, I truly believe that representation matters. I want, people to be able to go, and I want to be able to go to the movies and see people that are like me who are, Asian, but they were born here and, maybe they can't, do flying kicks or sword play or things like that. So yeah.
I mean, not saying that you can't do flying kicks or anything like that. I think I remember you in the film called Last 3 Days, and that was a pretty good action film, sci-fi action film itself. So
yeah. Yeah, but like you said, it's great to see real people on screen that we can identify with as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you like about playing this character, William Chang? I mean, he almost looked or sounded like a villain himself, but it seems like it's much more of a misunderstood character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. Absolutely. I think the thing with William, he was a great character to play because of all the stuff going on. As being Asian, it's generally the first son that's like held in high esteem, and I think with William and the structure of this story where, it's kind of the younger son, Sam, who plays my younger brother, who's the dad's favorite, and he's the one that's going to inherit the family business and this and that. And, having all those undertones to play with for my character, from, how he must feel, you know, being in that situation, and also the idea that, you know, he wanted to be himself, you know what I mean? But there's always that underlying thing of I want to make my dad happy. I want to make my dad proud. I want to be the good son, you know. But you know, William just wasn't that, you know, by nature, you know, and that kind of sets off this kind of really extreme series of events in their lives on his birth, on the younger brother's birthday, you know.
I found it funny is because I never heard of a fake kidnapping turning out well.
Yeah. Like how did you expect this to turn out, right?
Yeah. It's always funny when because in reality fake kidnappings never end up well itself, but you know.
But again, I think that speaks to William, you know, as a character. He doesn't necessarily think things through, right? He's a lot more brash, and he's a lot more what one might call reckless, and that's probably a lot of the reasons why the dad, you know, favored the younger son, who was a lot more straight laced and you know, was a lot more responsible, and you know, and Sam had a lot to play with there too, you know, with being the favorite son, but having to live up to all those things and be this guy, and you know, like, you really get the feeling when you watch the movie that he's kind of under constant pressure to live up to that, whereas William is a little bit more easygoing and out there, and you know, he gets to jump in his lime green Lamborghini at the end of the night and go out and let loose and have some fun, you know.
Did you have a lot of time to develop that brotherly chemistry with Sam for this film?
I mean, we were on set together a lot, obviously, but actually, I was cast pretty late in this process, so I know that everyone else on the main cast at least had been cast already, and they were all ready to go. And when I talked to the director about it, he was like, "Yeah, we were looking and looking and looking. We just couldn't find the right guy, and you know, I don't know how they got to me, but I remember that I had auditioned for it, and then like the next day they called and they were like, 'Hey, the director wants to meet you.' He was in New York, so we did it over Zoom, and you know, we met, we talked a little bit, we ran the scenes, and it was like, I think that same day that I talked with him, or maybe the next day early, I remember my manager called me and he was like, 'Oh, you got the part.' And then I think it was days after that we were in rehearsals and we were doing table reads and stuff like that. So it happened really, really fast. We didn't really have time to flush that out before the filming, but as we spent time on set, I think we got to know each other fairly well.
Most excellent. And Roy, real fast, do you miss short hair?
Do I miss short hair? Sometimes when it's 103 degrees out here in LA like it is today, I do miss it. I don't know if you know this, but we wrapped this film in March a couple of years ago. I remember it was March, and I remember we wrapped the film, and then we started hearing about this virus coming out of Wuhan, China, and we were like, okay. They were saying, I remember we wrapped the film and we were watching the news, and you know, they were saying, oh yeah, it's not going to come to America, don't worry about it. And then like, I think a week later, they're like, okay, we're going to shut down some stuff, but it's going to be a couple weeks and we're going to be out of this. And then, you know, the rest is history. So we literally wrapped this film right before COVID shut everything down. I mean, it was like maybe a week. We wrapped, and then like things started to close down, and then like a month after that, everything was just dead. Like the industry had just gone dark, and you know, stores were shut down, couldn't go to restaurants. So we barely finished, like just in the nick of time. And then COVID happened, and I guess I just stopped cutting my hair, you know?
Well, it's a good look. Well, thank you very much, Roy. for talking to us about Take the Night.
Of
We
course.
really appreciate it. Hopefully we get to do this again.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you for your time.